Okay, so gonna try something a little bit different. So it is Thursday, January 11th. I have my first exam of semester 2 on Wednesday. It is on hematology. It's on 5 PowerPoints, which you can see listed here. It's kind of a lot, and I'm a little worried, if I'm being honest. It's a lot of material. It's a lot of new stuff. I think our professor even said, like, we can't anchor any of this stuff with things we've seen before. A lot of this is like kind of asymptomatic, shows up on labs. Like, it's more abstract than anything we've seen. So I did things a little bit differently. These are my notes that I actually have completed for all 5 PowerPoints, which is good. I tried to do this before lecture. They did a PowerPoint a day. I simply could not keep up, but I was able to spend some extra time and finish it all. Then I made my Anki after. So I'm doing the reverse of what I did in the first semester. I did fine the first semester. I don't know why I'm switching things up. I guess I'm just trying to do better or be more efficient. But I made a lot of my Anki based on my own notes versus the PowerPoint. So I don't know. We'll see if that works. I have a total of, oh, that's not bad, 269 flashcards for this exam. Anki's maxing me out at 200 per day. I don't know that I'll get through that many right now, but let's go through. I want to show you so this is how I have it organized. Each PowerPoint gets its own deck. So if I want to study a PowerPoint specifically, I can. If I want to study everything as a whole, it usually starts out chronologically, the order that I created them. And then as Anki progresses, it starts to mix them up. As I flag things as more difficult or easier, I'll see those either sooner or later, and etc. So let's do it. I have not studied for any of this yet. I've taken the notes. I don't understand most of this, so let's just go through and I'll show you what that looks like. I do have my Super Nintendo controller. This is new this semester. That via Nintendo Switch functionality is hooked up to my computer. So this is how I will be controlling these flashcards. So here we go. Also, I'm recovering from COVID, so I'm very ill and feel like crap. I haven't been in class all week, but things keep moving on. That's PA school. So, okay. Helmet cells, fragmented or sheared red blood cells are called. I think these are called schister cells. Schistocytes, close enough. EPO stimulates blank, a location to increase RBC production of bone marrow. Yep. Eventually, hematopoiesis occurs exclusively in the bone marrow. Yep. Patients with blank produce heme that can contain iron in its ferric form. I think this is hemoglobinuria. Hemoglobinemia, technically different, so I'm not going to give myself that one. A blank is a manual microscopic examination of a blood sample. Would this be a smear, peripheral smear? Hemoglobin readings. All right, so falsely high normal would be carboxyhemoglobin, like with a CO poisoning. Elevated, I want to say like an A1C and skin pigmentation. That's absolutely right. Okay. Difference between, I usually talk out loud while I do it too. If, even when I'm not recording myself, I do find that that's more, I don't know, it's just like multimodal. It's better than just being silent. Difference, and I can hear these words. I can help, practice pronouncing them, etc. Difference between CBC and CBC with differential. CBC is going to give you like total leukocyte count. Differential is going to give you like, here's your neutrophil percent, here's your basophil, etc. Yeah. Cytoplasm RNA gives lacy or mesh-like blank pattern in which type of erythrocyte precursor. So this is what I call a combination card. It has a closed deletion, and it's there's a side B. I think it might be stippling. I don't know. No, so it's reticular and it's reticulocyte. Okay. I'm actually going to make a quick change to my controller here. I think I want Y to also be back. Okay. Red blank, red in color is a major site of hematopoiesis. Red bone marrow, cells, lysis, and systemic circulation that release the RBC contents happen or something. Oh, it sounds like it would be extravascular, but I think it's actually intravascular. Oh, let's go, baby. Okay. Sure. Which value of an RDW points to some sort of nutrient deficiency, including iron deficient anemia? Um, would this be high? Yeah, a high RDW means they're not uniformly affected. Sure. RBC lysis can cause an increase in this electrolyte, which can cause pseudo hyper. Oh, kalemia. This is another thing I am experimenting with this semester of just giving myself half of the word. Who cares, right? I think as long as I'm completing part of it, I'll remember the whole answer. Good. That technically was a combination card, but it doesn't matter. It's potassium, it's kalemia. Patients with methemoglobinemia produce heme that contains iron in its ferric form. So this is 3+, which cannot bind oxygen. I have duplicates like this, just written in different ways, which is useful. Spleen and liver? Oh, bone marrow. Really? I actually think liver is there as well. Control effing liver is not going to be great here. But I think it's one of the first times. Yeah, spleen, bone marrow, and also liver. I don't know that I can add a third closed deletion here, but I'm going to add 3 just to let me know there's 3 things. We'll hit that one again. Globin is a globular protein made up of 4 individual subunits. How are these named classified? So normal, this is like for what? Hemoglobin A. This is before we got into that stuff. It's 2 alpha, 2 beta. I think that's for A, right? Yeah, or specifically A1. Which is like our bread and butter hemoglobin. What are the 2 sources of iron? Dietary and recycled red blood cells, but that has to come from somewhere. Maybe that's it? Or bone marrow? Oh, okay. Yeah, I had it. So I will see all of these cards one more time in 30 minutes. And then if I get it right a second time, I'll see it tomorrow. I'm really getting congested. Only blank bilirubin gets reported on CMP total. Reticulocyte count is an effective marker of blank. I think just erythropoiesis. The Buffy code is made up of white plate, so white blood cells and platelets. I think it's mostly white blood cells. I think. Hepcidin exhibits this effect by blank, reducing the expression of iron of that iron exporter on macrophages. RBCs with small round inclusions of hemoglobin. It's not bite cells. I think it's what bite. Is this Heinz bodies? Yeah. This is I have not studied any of these cards, and I'm doing incredibly well. So this is pretty cool. Probably just cursed myself. Hemoglobin and hematocrit relationship. Is it 3-to-1? 3 hemoglobin. No, it's 1-to-3. Okay, so 1 hemoglobin to 3 hematocrit. So 1 punch, 3 crits. Plasma is made of 90% water and 10% like other solutes. It's like electrolytes, plasma proteins. I should probably specify that a bit. That's plasma, which is 55% of blood. We'll take that. After a normoblast, reticulocytes and erythrocytes become, anucleated. This isn't a greatly worded card. That's too broad, but I wrote the card, so I remember. Which RDW value means that RBCs are uniformly affected? I think a low. Yeah. I'm connecting that from the other card because I included a screenshot. Which type of blood gas is best to check hemoglobin saturation? ABG. Anisocytosis is what and can be quantified by? Yeah, it can be quantified by RDW. This is just a variation in your erythrocyte size. So are they all uniform, or do you have some small? Do you have some big? Typical hemoglobin structure contains 4 heme groups. Each heme group combined to 4 oxygen molecules. Oh, each heme group individually. Okay. Hemoglobin structure contains 4. All right, we'll see that one again. Panic values for hemoglobin. I don't think we need to know these. I remember it's 7 and 20 because 720 is 360 twice. So less than 7 in MI, heart failure, death. More than that can clog your capillaries. Hematopoietic stem cells are multipotent, meaning they can turn into anything. RBC, WBC, platelet. In terms of hematopoiesis, as the fetus develops, hematopoiesis moves from the yolk sac to the liver and spleen. So again, I gave myself the word sac. I'll still remember it. It doesn't matter. To the liver and spleen, that's probably pretty important. But see, liver, spleen, and bone marrow, right? It was just worded differently on different slides. Blank is an enzyme inside RBCs that resist RBC injury, G6PD. The ion oxidation state of iron in the center of the heme is 2+. This is ferrous. HFE protein present in the cells of the, pretty sure liver. Space is bothering me there. Whatever. EPO is primarily produced by the. Did I see this card already? Is it bone marrow? It is not. It's the kidneys. I'm going to add an organ there. All right. It's okay. The process happens in the bone marrow. EPO is released in response to low hemoglobin. Oh, kind of the same thing. I'll take it. Plasma protein is an indirect measure of iron stores. Oh, ferritin. All right, so this is an image occlusion of a matrix that I made to help with spatial recognition. So mean corpuscular, we don't talk about this one a lot. It's not MCV, it's not MCHC. This has to do with mass. I don't remember the actual name. I did get mass. Oh, it's just hemoglobin, so it's just MCH. So we'll see that again. All right, so falsely low would be like a severe anemia, nail polish, nail, what else would it be? And then like a hemoglobin emia, like sickle cell, hemoglobinopathy, we'll take it. Sickle cell, so it's going to be falsely low. Okay. All right, so this is MCHC, so mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration. What physical percentage of space is occupied by my hemoglobin? If it's hyperchromic, that actually indicates cellular dehydration, so a high MCHC. Getting like an ulcer in my mouth. This has been a horrible week. It's, believe it or not, it's so ergonomic despite my posture to not have to like hunch over a laptop or like raise your hands to a keyboard or a mouse. It's, controllers are great. Where's yellow marrow located? In the shaft. So the diaphysis? Yes. Of long bones, of course. Not flat bones. What is the primary site of hematopoiesis in adults? Flat bones? Bone marrow of flat bones? Red bone marrow of flat bones? Yeah. Am I saying that correctly? I'm so bad at saying things.
Hematopoiesis.
Hematopoiesis. It's because I don't read anymore. Iron exporter. All right, so FPN. All right, so this controversial whether these are good cards or not. 3 closes in 1. It's really not. All right, controls iron absorption at, oh, this is a good one because it goes together. At the duodenum, controls iron release from, I think, macrophages, and controls iron release from ferritin stores in the liver. There you go. This is huge. The qualifier of what the close is supposed to be is going to save a lot of time. These 3 are big. That's definitely going to be a question. And we already talked about hepcidin reducing that expression. Calcium blank absorption by binding to iron. Inhibits. Reticulocytes are present in the bone marrow for how long in days? Is it 3? Is it 3? Variation in red blood cell shape. Poikilocytosis. This is crazy. I remember all this. Biliverdin is then broken down into blank unconjugated. And this comes from heme, right? Probably worth throwing this in here. That's just one of the great things about Anki, being able to edit cards like that quickly, just really amazing. So let's add in the beginning of this. It's not really a complete story here. Cool. Packed red blood cells, aka hematocrit. This one actually measures the blank of the RBCs. Is this RDW? Like the size variation? If it's high, this is anisocytosis. There it is. Cytoplasm RNA gives lacier and mesh-like. All right, so we're finally, has it been a half an hour? We're finally seeing repeats. Reticulocyte pattern, reticular. Mean, all right, so MCH, average blank of hemoglobin per cell, MCH. I want to say concentration, but hold on. Why am I blanking here? Is it just concentration? No, it's weight. I don't know why that's capitalized. All right, we'll see that again. Once ingested, blank transforms ferric into ferrous. Ooh. Actually, I think it's hydrochloric acid. Yeah, in the stomach. And then the enterocytes turn it back into 3+. It's crazy. And I think that's actually what transferrin binds to. What is this? Glycoprotein produced by the liver. Is it transferrin? Patients with blank produce heme that can contain iron in its ferric form. Met hemoglobin emia. Good. So I got that wrong. So I have to get it right now. And then I have to get it right again in 30 minutes before I can send it to tomorrow. Hematopoiesis, the production of cellular components. Yeah. RBCs with spinous processes. Bill Burr. So Burr cells. An elevation of this enzyme is a biomarker of tissue breakdown. Lactate dehydrogenase? There it is. Reticulocytes enter systemic circulation for final maturation over 1 to 2 once they're in the circulation. So marrow for 3, circulation 1 to 2, then they're all grown up. During pathologic states, hematopoiesis can occur anywhere. Porphyrin is then broken down into a biliverdin. Is yellow marrow involved in hematopoiesis? No. What does yellow marrow do again? Stores fat. That's probably a good card to have. So I'm going to add a brand new card. I do this pretty often because I miss stuff. We're still in the first PowerPoint. It's like really basic stuff you need to know. Function of yellow marrow, stores fat. I think it can produce in times of pathologic states, whatever. We'll add some redundancy here with this. Found in the shaft, the diaphysis of long bones, yellow marrow. Good. And we should see that immediately. Stores fat. Okay, mean corpuscular. Is this MCV? Mean corpuscular volume? First step in classifying anemias, the average size of the RBC, so the volume of it. Microcytic less than 80. Oh, that should be 100. Greater than 100 is macrocytic. Do I really have that wrong? That's not good. I have this multiple places. Whoops. But I know it. I picked up on it, so good. Femtoliters, measured in femtoliters. Never heard of that. Blank lab value is the first step in classifying anemias. Well, the MCV, which is the mean corpuscular volume. Right. Is it microcytic, which is like a hallmark of iron deficient anemia, or is it macrocytic? Are these large boys? Damaged or old RBC are recognized and phagocytized by macrophages located in liver, spleen, bone marrow. Plasma makes up 55% of our blood. In terms of intravascular hemolysis, LDH? Okay. Oh, these are the contents. Hemoglobin, LDH. Okay. RBCs that contain RNA fragments. Reticulocytes? Oh. So reticulocytes have RNA. With a meshy appearance, lacy or mesh-like. All right. Whatever. This is a term. I'm gonna say qualify this. A type of poikilocytosis. I'm gonna give myself that one. RBCs with spherical purple bodies. Spherocytes. What? I think purple is the big one there. The heck is a Hal Jolly body? Purple is the big one. That's crazy. Hemoglobin to hematocrit relationship. So 1 globe, 3 crit. Sorry, I'm moving all over the place. Unconjugated bilirubin is characteristic. It's not soluble, toxic. Okay. 3 components of the cellular components. 45% of blood are what? Oh, erythrocytes, platelets, white blood cells. Iron entering the liver triggers the release of blank hepcidin. Typical hemoglobin structure contains 4 heme groups, each heme group combined to 1 oxygen molecule. Good. Heme is further broken down into porphyrin and Biliverdin? No. Porphyrin and iron? Yeah, that's exactly right. Nucleated RBC is known as erythroids normoblast. Interesting. Okay. EPO is primarily produced by what organ? The kidneys. Is there a controlled mechanism for the excretion of excess iron? No. Which lab value is the first step in determining anemia? MCV, mean corpuscular volume. Oh, what? No. Oh, determining, not classifying. Jeez. Wow. That's like a question you'd kick yourself for getting that wrong. Yeah, it's absolutely right. Who cares about an MCV, right? If the hemoglobin's fine, I'm sure that's not correct. But red marrow is primarily located in flat bones, sternum, skull, scapula, pelvic girdle makes sense. That's pretty crazy. Total iron binding capacity, indirect means of measuring transferrin levels. In terms of, are we still in the first PowerPoint? Yes. No, maybe not. In terms of MCHC, the mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration, this is that like third bucket, decreased is hypochromic, normal is normochromic, increases hyperchromic. That's that dehydration one. Ferrous Fe2 plus is absorbed by duodenum, F3 plus, Fe3 plus. Renda reticuloendothelial system. This is extravascular. Yeah, so less than 80 microcytosis, normal is 80 to 100, and large is greater than 100. Blank indicates the presence of size variation between RBCs. In RDW, mean corpuscular hemoglobin, so MCH, average weight of hemoglobin per red blood cell. So this is the mass or the weight. Six months of life? First few weeks, okay. Walk through the interplay of HFE. I don't want to. So HFE is the alarm. It's saying iron high or iron low. Hepcidin is the super of the factory, and its job is to send the workers on break. So if iron is high, it says FPN, stop or slow down. We have too much iron. We can't get rid of it, so we need to slow or stop the absorption. FPN is working in the enterocytes of the duodenum, in the macrophages who are recycling old and damaged red blood cells, and in the should have stopped there. Where else are we harvesting iron from? The liver? Are we breaking down ferritin? Let's go, baby. Yes, that's exactly right. Sweet. Eventually, hematopoiesis occurs exclusively in the bone marrow. Okay, so this is my first card. I've now seen, got it right once, got it right twice. Right? And now this is the third time. So I don't need to study this again until tomorrow, which I probably won't. Um, but sweet. Okay. I'm probably about due for a break. Vitamin C enhances the absorption of iron. Cellular components make up what percent of blood? 45%, 99% of which are erythrocytes. The least dense component of blood is plasma. Reticulocyte count are blank in size. The mature RBCs larger, actually. That's a question. Tongue finding with iron deficiency anemia. Excuse me? Oh, like a glossy tongue? Yeah. What are the 5 causes of anemia? Oh my gosh, you did not make this card. I have no idea what this first word is. Hypoproliferative. Okay. What is pica? Pica. This is abnormal cravings for non-foods. It's indicative of, I think, iron deficiency anemia, but not specific for it. Abnormal craving for ice. Is it pago something? Pagophagia. We're taking that. Red, blank, red in color is a major site of hematopoiesis. Red marrow. All right. I think that's a good where to stop. That's a good place to stop. So if we look back here, we've zeroed out we've gone through all 76 of PowerPoint 1. Not bad. That took what? 45 minutes, if that. I still need to see all those cards again. I certainly haven't mastered any of them, but if I got it right the first time, I'm most likely going to get it right the second time. But this is spaced repetition, right? So I'm going to see these again. Probably not later tonight, but maybe sometime tomorrow. That's really the power of Anki. You don't just see it once and think you know it. Not the case. All right. So there we go. I've already seen 89 of the 200 cards that were technically due today. I have like the 238 cards total. Not bad, honestly. So that's Anki. That's how I study. Usually I have like some music playing. Sometimes I study quietly. But there you go.